hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the manga. And for anime-only fans, this is the time of the month where a lot of the content that you guys see on the channel is going to be spoiler heavy, so I thank you for your support. However, if you're still here, I'm assuming that you guys are all caught up with the Boruto manga and you guys don't care about me talking about spoilers. So diving right in, I think we need to have a serious conversation about the character Code. And now that we've seen more information on Kawaki's origin story in the anime, and we found out more about Code's relationship with Jigen and Ishiki and all of these doings in the actual manga, I think we need to discuss a possibility that I for a long time was not a big fan of, but even I myself am starting to kind of come back around to this possibility, which is we have to ask the question, is Code actually an Uzumaki? Now, for me, I was not a big fan of this theory and idea for a long time because I kind of felt like where the fandom was, and you gotta understand, I've been in the fandom for a long time. Ever since like 2012, if I'm not mistaken, when Kabuto said in the manga, when the chapters are coming out weekly, it was like 2012 or sometime in 2013. But when Kabuto said, you should have known that Karin was a Uzumaki because of her red hair. The moment that that happened, literally every red-haired character who ever pops up in the series, fans like, oh, that's Uzumaki, and that's Uzumaki, and that's an Uzumaki. And I was like, wait a second, there's other traits when it comes to people being in the Uzumaki clan. Just because a character has red hair does not mean that they're part of the clan. By that logic, wouldn't Gaara be distantly related to Uzumaki? That was one of those things where I was like, I don't think that we need to just jump the gun right away. And I'll admit, I was blinded for a second. So why all of a sudden am I kind of teetering on this being a possibility? Well, here's the thing about this, okay? So when I was watching that flashback episode, which was actually part of the manga, not the part about Kawaki's father where you see him living with him and living in that village, but just the parts of the actual episode that were manga adapted, one of the things that happened, like one of those kids that we saw with the karma seal that was getting the treatment from Jigen, one of them looked a lot like Code. And here's the thing about it. We know from the manga that Code had all these symptoms and shivers and shakes and everything, just like all the other kids did, but it was stated that he somehow survived. Now, why is this so important? Well, the kid that we saw in that tank looked like he had red hair. If that was indeed Code, then that means that Code had survived that process as well. We know from the flashback that Kawaki was looking over at Code and saw him. And the reason why I think that that is Uzumaki linked is because when you look at the Uzumaki clan, what's the one thing that they are known for above anything else? They are known for having unnaturally strong life forces, stronger than any other character or clan's life forces in the series that are human, at least. And the thing is that's why they have a long lifespan. That's why they're able to age slower, and because they have such a strong lifespan, that's why they're able to briefly survive having a Biju extracted from them. Now, the reason why I bring this up is the karma seal in a way is a lot like Biju chakra in the sense that it is foreign chakra that is being put into your body and mixed in with your body. In the case of the Biju chakra, it eventually mixes in with your own. That's why when the Biju gets extracted from you, you end up dying off. In the case of Kushina, she was able to stay alive long enough to subdue the whole Nine Tails and give a whole speech. Naruto required some assistance from Sakura to stay alive, but Naruto was able to stay alive after the fact. Well, if Code is like Naruto and he's part Uzumaki, if that's the case, if Code, let's say Code is 50% Uzumaki, that would explain why when he got the karma seal and got that foreign chakra inside of him from that karma seal that's being transferred from Ishiki via Jigen, why he went through the same process as all the other people and all the people are shaking and shivering, and then they ended up just dying right there on the spot. But Code went through that process and looked like he died, but still managed to cling on. When you go to the manga, what's one of the things that Zetsu said? Zetsu said the Uzumaki are like cockroaches. Somehow they still managed to kind of cling to life. I believe Obito said the same thing when it came to Kushina with her still being alive, but I might be wrong on the Obito line. But I say that to say, if Code is Uzumaki, if he's part Uzumaki, or let's say he's full-blooded Uzumaki, that's the case, that would explain why Code's body was able to handle that bit of the karma seal. And I'll take it a step further. I think that he might not even be 50% Uzumaki. He might be one of those Uzumaki that has had the bloodline further diluted, and he might have less Uzumaki genes than Boruto. And the reason why I even bring that up is Code wasn't able to get the full karma seal. Now, Boruto does have two parents who have chakra from Hamura and chakra from Hagoromo, so there is a possibility that Boruto is just the perfect storm for Momoshiki to get the karma seal. But Kawaki, as far as I know, Kawaki doesn't have any connection like that. Kawaki is potentially just that lucky one. However, I do think that that would explain why Code all of a sudden just has that white karma seal, because his body wasn't able to fully handle that karma seal. So I do think that is a good way to actually explain it. And if that's the case, we're looking at a character who not only has a white karma seal which boosts his power, but Code also has a freakishly high life force, which means that this dude's not going to be very easy to take down, especially when you add in the possibility for sealing jutsu. Why is that so important? Well, if he's an Uzumaki, which means that he's going to have an aptitude for picking up sealing jutsu easier. What's one thing that Ishiki has? Ishiki has an entire 10 tails, which means you have the possibility that Code could seal that 10 tails inside of him. That is something to kind of keep in mind right there. So there are a few different things that we could actually look at here with possibilities with Code coming combat wise, especially when you look at that ability he has with belts right there. That is something where you could say maybe there's some sealing jutsu mixed in with that as well. I mean, that's going to be very interesting just to see how they actually address why Code was able to survive like that. I think that the layup is right there. If they want to go that route and make Code and Uzumaki, the bread and butter is absolutely right there. And I think that if we start seeing Code with any type of ability for sensory abilities, you can go ahead and pencil that one in, that Code is an Uzumaki right there, which means that you also have another chance that Code might be able to suppress his chakra as well. So that would make him very easy to actually slip in. However, I want to know from you guys, what do you guys think about Code potentially being Uzumaki, and were you one of the people that jumped on the bandwagon right away, or were you like me and you need to see a little bit more information before you kind of jumped onto that? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.